Welcome to Guelph Fight Wrestling. I am Andrew Sennedra, and this is the Stats Master, Captain Witchfingers, and today we're going to be talking about Nexus and having our list of, I guess, our favorites, or how we're having them listed, top to bottom, bottom to top. And I thought, like, when this was originally, this was in the comments actually suggested doing this list of the Nexus, and I thought, if we were doing like based on success, whether it was in the Nexus or not, or most popularity or most accomplishments, that wouldn't have made any sense because that'd be too easy to do. Like John Cena would be obviously at the top. So we're actually doing it based on like, these wrestlers, but not just like what we thought of them in WWE, but actually their whole body of work, even outside of WWE. So that's how we would do this, and it should make for a kind of interesting list that way, I think. Really unexpected. You don't know what what we're thinking, or we didn't even know what we were thinking because a lot of these guys have moved on. So you're gonna do a little breakdown, a little rundown of what Nexus is. I actually had no idea, so you're running with this one.
Okay, so Nexus is like they're a bunch of rookies from NXT. They came up. They were tired of all these oldies running the show, so like they wanted to take over. And then and then their first debut was a very big impact. They killed John Cena. They dismantled and destroyed the ring, and then the world knows that Nexus is here.
I had no idea. I was like, I didn't know any of that happened. Well, apparently that's what happened. So now we're going to be running through a list. It looks like he's going to be going from the bottom up, and I'm going to be going from the top up. My number one guy is Justin Gabriel, aka PJ Black. Hands down, I think he had the best body of work as a wrestler, my type of guy. A bit of an aerial guy, definitely a really well crafted, veteran type of dude. Submission, strikes, he can do a lot of different things. We loved what he did in Lucha Underground. I liked what he did in ROH as well, but overall I like PJ Black's whole body of work. I think he is fantastic and was able to do many different things in the ring and work with many different wrestlers.
Okay, so I skipped a couple of guys because I'm like...
Oh yeah, I had to do that too. I had no idea who some of these dudes were.
I didn't care for them.
And they didn't last that long either, did they?
Yeah. Some of them lasted, like a year, less than a year, so it's like, oh, whatever.
And they just left wrestling all over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right? So my bottom would be Ryback or Skip Sheffield, like what
you didn't like him?
I don't know, like he's like Vince's guy, he's that big guy, but like to me he's kind of slow, he's kind of bland, he's just the big prototypical bodyguard that will body you.
Rough catchphrase.
Feed me more. It's like I don't care.
Sounded like a bad robot villain from the 80s or something.
And then you see him bullying people in the back room. He's like, I don't really care. He's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. Then I got myself Husky Harris, horrible name, aka Bray Wyatt. That one's pretty simple because like he clearly evolved into a much more interesting character with tremendous amount more depth, better wrestler, better stuff like that. I only saw him a little bit because I didn't really follow WWE, and a lot of that. But it definitely seemed like an interesting character, and definitely I think like he's along the lines of like a Malachi Black, and I think that brings a lot to my attention and that type of character that I like.
So next one on my list is Wade Barrett. So it's like the leader.
You didn't like him?
I'm sorry, he's not higher on the list, but like I don't know, like to me he's kind of forgettable. I mean, he just like it's like even his finisher, I totally forgot. It was like you had him fire him in his carry and you just like throw him down. I'm like, that's like a scoop slam, right? How was that a finisher? It's like, no wonder everybody turned his backs on him. Like, this idiot's our leader, let's jump up.
Well, that sort of ruins where I have Wade Barrett. I had him third. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering, but maybe I thought he was more interesting. I don't know. Now I'm questioning my list, but apparently I had him third. I don't know. Who you got next? Well, what you're laughing at?
I'm on my third. You don't say anything positive. You're like that.
Well, no, I meant like.
So my next one is Punk. I thought it was kind of strange that he just seemed to me like he just randomly joined as the new leader, because I guess nobody in the current faction had leadership qualities. So I just throw CM Punk, he can do it. He had the straight edge society, which was neat, like the pipe bomb. But I like the more of the flashy in-ring stuff, but he's, you know, the prototypical, you know, talk a lot, don't do much in the ring kind of thing. So yeah, he was there.
He was there near the bottom. My next guy is Darren Young, aka Fred Rosser. I have him here just because I think his body of work sort of evolved, you know, in New Japan a little bit. He developed a bit more of a character. He definitely had some better matches and things like that over there. So that's where I kind of, you know, elevated him up into that spot for me.
So next I have the People's Champ, John Cena. You can't see him.
You have him above Punk? All right.
He had those like you know, like those corny jokes or like whatever, something like that.
I don't remember much. I just remember mostly changing the channel on him for the most part.
He has some moments where like, oh, you know, he's supposed to get fired, but then, you know, he has some corny things like, oh, you can't fire me. Yeah, he's got his rap thugonometry, but
is that what that is? Clearly, I don't watch any of this stuff. He might have paid more attention than I did.
But it's interesting to me. Cena is like, he kind of helped make Nexus by like first getting destroyed, but then in the end, I think like he kind of buried Nexus because like there was like a pay-per-view match where like initially Nexus was supposed to win, but then in the end Cena uses like, you know, his backroom powers,
creative control. Or
like he changed.
He pulled a Hogan.
He changed it to make him win because he's a superhero. Right? Superhero always wins, right? I think that kind of destroyed the push for Nexus. So he helped make them, and then I think he destroyed them as well. So
I'll make you, I'll break you.
Exactly.
Next up, I got Heath Slater. I think like when he was in WWE, he seemed like quite a dud. From what I remember, but over an Impact, I think he's done a little better, and that's why I have him in the spot that I did. I think he did a little bit better, you know, over there, and showed a bit more character, a bit more moves, and seen him work with different guys in Impact and have some decent matches in there for sure.
So my next is Justin Roberts' nemesis, Daniel Bryanson.
Oh!
He nearly killed
the
him.
PTSD. Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, you got the PTSD. He's like, oh, it's Daniel Bryanson. Oh no, he's gonna choke me out again. I know some people seem to love him, like when he copied Diego Sanchez, like the yes movement. Everyone's like,
oh yeah,
yes.
Doesn't that make him kind of retarded?
This guy's always like, no. And he had some comedy reliefs with like Kane and stuff, so he's like not a huge fan.
Yeah, I have him dropped. That's actually my next one is Danielson. So he's way down. What is that? Like 6th on my list? Yeah, I got Brian Danielson down there. Mostly because like, you know, I know he does all of these strikes and different moves and submissions and grappling, and he does all this type of stuff. But at the same time, I find like that he's very repetitive in doing that. It seems from what I've watched his matches is they are very repetitive in exactly what he does. So I don't know, and I've never really cared for his promos and his character and stuff. You know, he's always just been kind of a dude in underwear to me.
The next guy, I'm kind of surprised he's really high on my list, but it's Heath Slater, the ultimate jobber. This dude got 10 kids to feed, you know? He needs to win, right? And he did some tag teams with Rhino, but he's a cool guy.
Oh, I guess he's pretty high. I guess, yeah, he's about mid for me, and he's pretty high on your list. Yeah, that's not bad. Heath Slater's got some love from us. Now I'm moving on to Ryback, aka Skip Sheffield. I got him. Yeah, same reason, a little lower, just because I think he could have been so much better as a power guy, because he could move a little bit, right? But, you know, he just came in and did kind of a couple of moves and became stale, and I think that what really hurt him is that damn catchphrase is so fucking goofy. You know, that's like 1991 WWF. It's just like, you know, okay, whatever, like, yeah, flash in the pan, he's big dude, Vince loves his big guys.
My next one is Justin Gabriel. You know, he's former tag team champs, you know. I think he was the flashiest one on the Nexus, you know. He had 450s, and he even beat Cena with his 450.
Oh, yeah. There you go. More shit I didn't know.
He should have been the leader.
My next one down is David Otunga. I don't know why. I just think, I think he had good matches. I don't remember. I think he was better, but I just have him there because I really don't like the next two guys on the list. I don't really care for either of these guys. I think they're both chuds. So clearly I haven't had John Cena mentioned, so I have David Otunga above John Cena. I've just never cared for him. He's just ridiculously repetitive. You know, I don't know. There's nothing there for me, and I really don't give a shit if somebody watches this video and is like, I love John Cena, you don't understand. I'm like, whatever. It's like the guy's, you know, a punk musician. He knows 3 chords. You know, there's nothing there for me. It's changed the channel time.
It's funny, for David Tonga, I said like a top 10 move list. A bunch of them were like punches. I'm like, that's a top move? That's just like a basic move.
He had awesome punches. That's seen it. He fucking awesome punches. So, or is this next guy the top guy?
Yeah, my next one, top guy. First, I gotta apologize. You know, when I first saw Husky Harris, I'm like, who is this guy? He's like out of shape. You know, like what you said, pear-shaped loser kind of thing. This guy's never gonna make it. You know, this guy's gonna be like he's gonna get fired next. But then to me, he turned out to be one of my favorites. He had a really cool character. He was the leader of like the hillbilly gang.
Hillbillies.
And all of these like big beards are all very menacing kind of thing. And then he created the Fiend afterwards. It's like a cool, like, dark character.
Yeah.
And then he goes through all these speeches that you have no idea what he's talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think his title run should have been a bit longer, but I think he's really cool.
For an interesting character, he seems to get buried a lot, though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
For how much fans he seemed to have, and he seemed to lose a lot.
Yeah, it's funny because like he always claimed to have like a god complex where he is God, and then I'm like, why is God losing so much? Like gods are supposed to be winners, right? Right?
Yeah, that seems bad. So that's the end of your list. Pretty interesting, though. I can definitely relate. Our 1-2 picks are the same, just flipped.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
my last pick is Michael McGillicuddy, aka Curtis Axel. I was just like. I literally have nothing to say about this guy. You know, some people might like him and Bo Dallas running around the ring like a pair of fucking Fruit Loops. It was just not interesting at all. I was like, yeah, fuck him. That's all I gotta say about him. And then I had those 2 other guys. I have no idea. I think they're out of wrestling, but you know that's our sort of interesting look at Nexus and the body of work of all these different types of wrestlers. I definitely feel like there's a few guys there that are solid and pretty good, but then there's like a huge drop off. At least in my opinion, that there's guys that we're really we're just not into that type of wrestling or that type of character. Put on some fucking pants, Daniels. I'm just tired of these guys.
The underwear gang. No pants gang.
Yeah, so that's our thoughts on Nexus. If you have any ideas for videos like this, they seem kind of humorous to do. At least we made fun of a lot of people. But if you have any of that ideas for us talking about factions and things like this, let us know down in the comments. And thanks for that suggestion as well. You know who you are down in the comments on our Bullet Club video. And until next time, folks, how about some heavy wrestling?
Next guy.
Look at some hair in my mouth or something. Your hair flying off.